Breaking news now, school shooting at an elementary
I've
school.
set up triage facilities.
Death toll is at 26.
It was horrific to watch. I don't think you could be a teacher and not put yourself in that place and just start saying, huddle the kids and sit there. That's our plan. Whoa.
27 dead, 20 children
that were targeted by a madman.
20-year-old Adam Lanza.
We're putting our kids at risk every day, putting them into an area called a gun-free zone with a sign on the door that says no guns allowed.
That was like saying sick 'em to a dog.
worst grade school shooting in
Well,
U.S.
the grief over those shootings, Silva held a prayer vigil.
Even though they had gone the extra mile of security and having a buzzer and checking in, that doesn't stop a killer who wants to come in and do mass damage.
We must act now. It's time for Congress to require a universal background check for anyone trying to buy a gun. Congress should restore a ban on military-style assault weapons and a 10-round limit for magazines. I intend to use whatever weight this office holds to make them a reality.
He's dead wrong if he thinks he's helping us by passing these bans. The assault weapons ban was in place from '94 to 2004. It did nothing.
I actually work at a jail part-time. I know inmates who have told me that they will go out and get a gun once they're released. Being in jail didn't change their mind about a gun. They're still gonna go break the rules and get guns.
Taking away our Second Amendment rights, taking away our legal rights, and brushing the Constitution under a rug, forget it. That is not the right way to go.
The issue here is not whether or not we believe in the Second Amendment, but I'm confident that there are some steps that we can take and that I can accomplish through executive action.
President Obama using the idea of an executive order is dangerous rhetoric. That's the kind of stuff that I think a third world type dictator would do. I think he's ignoring the Constitution.
It's sad that they're using this for politics. They're going through the pony show, they're talking to everybody, but we know the fix is in.
Our kids are not a priority in Washington. Our leaders back there are basically in it for themselves, for their power. It is not to make sure that every school is safe. We all know that's crap.
I think that when the NRA said that the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun
Is a good guy with a gun.
was right on the money.
I think the solution is to have somebody in the school well-trained with a gun to put a stop to it. That's the solution.
If it's crazy to call for putting police and armed security in our school to protect our children, then call me crazy. I think the American people think it's crazy not to do it.
I am skeptical that the only answer is putting more guns in schools.
His opinion is no more valid than my own, and at the end of the day, that man works for me. My feeling is that the Second Amendment right is available to all of us, and it's not up to him or Congress to decide that.
If they are skeptical of us, then why are we entrusted with the students? We're there because we've proven we love students.
Whenever he says he's skeptical about the rest of us, I believe he's being hypocritical. Why shouldn't the rest of us have the same protection and the same rights as you have? That's my question.
The real world is here in Utah where we don't have armed guards. The rest of the world doesn't have the same privileges he does. And I treat my students as if they were my own children.
I've taught for over 12 years. I love them. These parents trust us with their children 8 hours a day. How come we're not responsible enough to carry a gun? If we're responsible and we've taken the training, then I see no reason why we shouldn't.
Corey, look right there!
Stop! Don't shoot!
Oh, it was overwhelming. 200 teachers, and more if they could have fit them in that room, came to that class and said, you know what, we're going to get the training, we're going to get a permit, and we're going to be carrying in schools. Safety on here is on.
I'm going to be the first one there when a bad guy walks through the door. I would take a bullet for any one of my students.
I am grateful to live in Utah where I have that option to make that choice whether or not I would carry in the classroom to defend myself and my students.
Teachers have been doing this for 12 years. We haven't had any teachers overpowered and had their firearms taken. And the other thing we haven't had is any school shootings.
Drop your weapons, don't move!
Some of their main arguments are that, well, you can't teach teachers to do that. So let me get this straight. You're not okay with me training some people with master's degrees? Is that what you're saying?
I'm absolutely capable of learning how to safely use a firearm around students.
It's a silly argument.
I'm at the Herald School here in a rural town in Texas where the nearest sheriff's office is 30 miles away. Back in 2007, the superintendent came up with an idea called the Guardian Plan. The school board approved it, and since then, teachers and administrators have been allowed to carry in the classroom. Talk to any student here and they'll tell you they feel safer than ever.
I know that if an intruder comes in here and tries to hurt any of us, that I know that I am at least 200% more protected than the kids that have no protection that are in a gun-free zone.
Security guards are causing it, and that's one of the reasons some of the teachers' employees are scattered throughout the building with concealed handguns. And really, it's out of sight, out of mind. No one knows who is carrying. And so the active shooter, whoever's coming into a school, is going to not know who to target.
I'm offering to train people for free, to start with one person per school, but we can certainly go for more. Democrat leaders have attacked me because my program is free, and so if it doesn't cost anything, it can't be a solution in their minds.
What frustrates me, quite frankly, so I wish more people would take action. This hits home too.
A 16-year-old girl in Mesa will spend her holidays locked up in juvenile detention.
When we had a 16-year-old girl, she threatened to kill students in her high school. It just fit the same criteria in Connecticut. So we decided to call out the posse to patrol outside 60 schools.
We're the eyes and ears of the Sheriff's Department. We're all volunteers. We want to serve. We want to make a difference.
The posse's worked for 20 years. They've gone through 100 hours of weapons training plus follow-ups. They buy their own Jeeps, airplanes, cars. I swear them in. The only difference is no money. They don't get paid. Doesn't cost the taxpayers 1 cent.
We got so well-trained people that you put them in a situation and they're ready to roll. And it can be done. It's proven.
I can't think of a single reason why we shouldn't be armed in defense of our kids in school.
You shouldn't put a price on protecting kids, and it shouldn't matter how much it costs.
I'm sure if the proposal for policemen in the schools had been made by the Secretary of Education, these people wouldn't be attacking him. They're attacking the NRA because it's the NRA.
President Obama is wrong.
I don't believe that banning guns is the answer to the problem.
I think the American people are smart enough that they're going to realize that that's not what we need. There are more Adam Lanzas out there.
What we need right now are teachers getting trained and state legislators across this nation not disarming teachers that could protect their kids.
Unless we act now, we'll have another tragedy on our hands.
Don't penalize everybody for a few bad guys. That doesn't make sense.
You know, it is upsetting. It is upsetting that my right to protect our students is on the line, that right is hanging by a thread to be taken away.